Hey guys, it's Daniel Faust. We are now in the superhero battle room today, interviewing our special and honorary Warhero to Superhero, Dani Rocco. She's a TV celebrity. She's out everywhere. She's helping out veterans all the time. Bestseller author and everything else. We wanted to invite her on the show to go over and get her perspective of why she serves us, because I was like, she's not a veteran, but she's like in our space and like helping hundreds of millions of people. And I wanted to go over and to honor her as a honorary Warhero to Superhero, and wanted to introduce her show. She's going to share her wisdom, why she got involved with the veteran military crew. And obviously she's has our flag behind us. So let's invite her in. Dani, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. I don't know. I was having fun hearing all about you before we got started. I'm like, I got to revamp my mind now.
Mm-hmm. So tell us your story, like, because you told me that your son's a veteran, but outside of that, what got you into this space? Because most people don't even know what a veteran is. They don't know what rank. They kind of do the fake hand salute, and I'm like, what got you in this space?
So it was for 24 years, I ran a family business with obviously my family. My brother and I ran it for our father, very, very Italian family. And you are there to serve him so that he served us, he raised us, he gave us life. Now it's our turn to, honor him. After 24 years, it was kind of a bad breakup. He lost his mind. Our stepmom moved in and thought she was going to steal the business, and we separated ourselves. That's a very polite way of saying why my brother and I aren't there anymore. Now, meanwhile, the business is bankrupt, but that left me saying, what am I going to do? I've never worked for anybody my whole entire life. At 18, I started working for my father's company, and then I took it over. And so I was like, shoot, organically, I started working with CEOs. So I was a relationship coach for high-level CEOs, helping them have relationships with on their personal side, because they kicked butt in their careers. But I'm married, I have 6 children. CEOs are very needy. They want you when they want you. It doesn't matter what you're doing or where you are. Money's not an object. So it was kind of one of those things where money or my family. And I will be honest, that was hard.
Oh,
because I have always taken care of myself since I was 16 years old. I've been on my own. So even like when I said I worked for my family business, they didn't just hand over everything to me. I worked like cleaning the toilets and, mopping the floors. That is how I started, earn my way up. So that was a very emotional time. Then my husband's and my boat got rocked a little bit, disastrous. And I said, what? Okay, now what? 24 years down the drain. Now I have this booming financial career where I'm doing great things for people, but my family life's falling apart. What am I going to do? So I was having lunch with a good friend of mine, and she said, Danielle, what have you always loved? What do you do when nobody knows what you're doing? And it's serving the military. When my son became a Marine, it changed my life. Like my cousin was in the Army, and that changed me a little bit. But when being a mother and kind of going through that process, it completely changed me. So I said, okay, I will start doing that. So I wrote a book, Strengthening the Family Unit, Devoted to a Soldier, Strengthening the Family Unit, because militaries have the highest divorce rate, and it's a shame. It shouldn't be. There's just no resources. I find, and now I didn't live it, you have left it. But if you take a military life, look at it for 6 months, that's about 20 years of a civilian life, like turbocharged in a small period. So I'm like, you can really learn a lot by associating with the military, following them, understanding their work ethic, like just the whole 9 yards. So that's basically, now I'm rambling on, why I devoted everything to them. I started this documentary that I'm creating, which is a little bit on hold because I can't travel around, where I have my Devoted to a Soldier resource panel every single week. But that's basically why I do what I do. It was my son. He He changed me. He changed me. I had him at 16. He changed me then. And he changed me when he went into the Marines, and I watched him change, and I watched his brothers change, and I watched the marriages fall apart. I watched the losses happen, and then them not being able to protect, them leaving their family with nothing there because they weren't protected financially. I mean, all of these things. And I guess I'm a big mama bear at heart.
Yeah, you're sharing basically from the mother's perspective on what that happens. And usually from my perspective, because I've been military 20 years, my family still doesn't know to this day, like the essence of what military life is. So you really jumped in and became like military mom superhero and put on like 17 different hats. Kinda.
So I'm kind of like the mom to so many. I have, from Vietnam vets, down to newbies. They're like, I'm their mother. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like, I will protect you till the day I die. Maybe that's my Italian side coming out, my genetics. I don't know.
So can you expand on what you're doing in that particular regard? So you're doing this documentary, and then what do you practically do for our veterans to go over and serve them? So if I'm a vet and I'm struggling with my marriage, or hey, I'm struggling with my kids, or hey, I'm getting out, like what realms do you specifically focus on with vets that you're rewriting the script for?
So it's kind of been in this like morph development, because I was like, I'm going to do this documentary. And the documentary basically was just giving veterans a voice to speak, whatever that looks like. I've heard everything under the sun, but I didn't want to come in and say, hey, I know I'm a stranger and I'm this like kind of weird, ditzy looking blonde, and I stumble over my words a lot. But can you tell me like the hardest time in your life when you like, just go ahead, just open up. That was so insincere and not me at all. So I was like, I'll create these events. So we do a potluck family style dinner. I attach myself to either a nonprofit or a veteran business to kind of promote that. And I'm just on the side bringing value to that. And then we created a resource panel for whatever issues going on, because every city, I found that every city has kind of the same things, but very different. The structures are very different because the people are different. People are very different in New Hampshire than they are wherever you are, so that's what I decided that I was going to do. And I was going to make, like, how do I make money? I was just going to get sponsors to sponsor the documentary, which basically just pays for me to travel around. And it was great, but I'm stuck at home. So where do you go from there?
Well,
you have to be creative.
So now that we're starting to get out, where are you going from there?
So I've changed it a little bit. I'm still going to be creating this documentary and finishing it, but I've moved everything online, because what I found is that, good golly, there's so many amazing people. I will never run out of meeting amazing people. I will never run out of the value that they can bring. So we just brought that resource panel online. I have private groups that are kind of, maybe a little bit of like what you do. They're accountability. I believe in living proactive. You can say as much as you want, but if you do nothing behind those words, then you will absolutely get nothing behind it. And, life is moving and changing. Every day you are a little bit different than before. So you have to have this constant work on yourself. So that's where the group is. So for veterans, I'm like, you can plop into that group. You can be part of the resource panel. You can listen. You can call me and we can chat about what is going on. I have a lot of people saying like, hey, I need you, or hey, I know somebody that needs to talk to you. And then that's kind of what it's turned into.
Yeah, it sounds like something that needs to be duplicatable, because eventually you're going to run out of bandwidth and space and stuff of that particular regard. So it sounds like it's a great concept. Now you just need to bring the systems and people that are like clones of you to then go to the next level.
Well, yeah, that would be a little challenging. But I did along this journey. So I am a very faith-based person. I don't always know why God tells me things or puts things on my heart, but I just know that if it aligns with me morally of where I'm going, then I need to say yes to it and see what happens. And a lot of those yeses don't necessarily develop into a business, or they're not in my life anymore, but what they opened up to me absolutely is, whether it's a lesson, whether it's a person through a person through a person. So that is a big philosophy. And so one of the things that I picked up along this adventure of the 2 years is I got my life insurance license initially to educate as I went around, because I was finding that, well, you didn't fill out the one form. Well, your life insurance doesn't follow you. You don't have it anymore. Or like, a lot of the younger guys, or even the older guys, or even my age guys, that's not what their priority when they got out was staying alive, keeping their family intact, and finding out who the new them was, because they're no longer a soldier. They are no longer active. Protecting their family in that way didn't exist. So I started by educating them. People said, well, I want to work with you. And I said, okay, then I better attach myself somewhere, so I can actually assist if needed. So now I help them, not just on their relationship side, keeping their family strong, keeping their marriages strong. Maybe they're divorced, but rebuilding themselves as a person. I help them on that side, whether I can help them or I know somebody else that can help them.
Yeah. So you sound similar to what we go over and do, because we help military veterans and first responders transform their lives from the bedroom to the boardroom. You're just a different conduit to that, from coming from the mother perspective and coming from the, I don't know, it's not a mill spouse, I guess a mill mom. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a new concept we'll have to build or whatnot. Maybe mill parent or whatever. You can claim the hashtag. I don't need credit, but maybe mill parent. Yeah, because that's a new way to rewrite the script. Because most of us go out into the service and then we kind of lose ourselves, and we get the identity of the service or the identity of the MOS or the AFSC or the rate, and then we become that particular job set, and then we get out. And I think more than males and females, at least the females I've experienced, they have more of identity than we do. We kind of identify in our rate, and then we get out and we're like, all right, how do I really function as a father out of the military, as a husband out of the military, as a entrepreneur out of the military, and actually not cuss people out when you're getting out, to go over and make that transformation process. And that's why we started that particular movement on that regard. So it sounds like if they need more of like, hey, they need a mill parent type style, they can come to you, is that resource and that conduit, because we kind of don't have that. Like our sergeant becomes our parent in a sense. Daddy, what do I do? Mommy, what do I do? You're doing push-ups. Okay, I'm doing push-ups. This sucks, or whatever it is. So yeah, it sounds pretty awesome.
And I try to do it in a way that, this is the way I talk to my son. This is the way. So it is. I am like the mill parent. Although that sounds like MILF to me. So we might have to adjust that hashtag a little bit. But
anybody else want to go giving ideas? We got comments on here. Let's see if let's check out comments real quick before we close on the last question. Let's see. Where's comments? There we go. Daniel Gomez goes over and says, great stuff. And Nordhold Shoulder, he's like writes some great music for TV shows and whatnot. So if you want to connect with him, I kind of know him, but putting a lot into perspective. Thanks. So he's been following me lately. I'm like, he really liked our intro for our show. So cool. And then we have a comment from you. I'm looking so forward to this. So there you go. So now you got your comment.
I was so excited.
Yeah. So awesome. In this transformation that you made in these past couple of years and going over and serving veterans, what would you say the 3 superhero tactics that you've learned, either that you wish you knew in this 2-year transformation, or you would share with one of your soldiers when you're going over and helping them out?
So this is kind of how I've lived my life, especially in these last 2 years that have really worked, is one, I have to live proactively. You have to act. You can't just have a thought and leave it there. You have to put an actual physical body behind it doing something. It doesn't even matter if you crash and burn, because you're going to crash and burn a lot. You're going to crash and burn more times than you actually get a gold star. So you just live proactive and move. I actually wrote these down because I didn't want to forget. I put thought into this because it's like,
Awesome.
what do I do? And that's definitely one. And then another one that I had to develop and be confident is saying, like, I don't know the answer. When you come from, I spent 24 years having to know the answer. And if I didn't know the answer, I had to fake it till I make it, because I had the whole company and all the employees and all the family relying on what came out of my mouth. So I had to learn that confidence within myself to be like, you know what, I don't know, but I'm going to find out, or I'm going to send you over here and they're going to help you. So that's huge, putting that piece of that ego aside and being able to say that and again, act on it. Right. And the other one is to say yes. You have to listen to what God puts in front of you, whether you believe in God or whatever it is that you believe in. I particularly believe in God. What he puts in front of you, you need to receive and be open to. And so that means you have to say, okay, I don't know why, but I trust you and I have faith. So I'm going to take that step forward. And that is faith. That's my definition of faith, is acting on what is put onto your heart without having any idea where it's going to lead you. You have to go. So those are my three things. You have to live proactive and act. Put your ego aside and say, I don't have the answer, but I'll either find it or send you somewhere that I think is going to, have that answer for you. And then to say, listen to God, open up your heart and just say yes and do it.
Yeah, that's really
cool. And not wait.
Yeah, that is a military type response in that regard, because we do that. Like, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. And then you point the people to the right resources. So you got some NCO training under your belt. There you go. Well, awesome. I have to tell you, my son, when he got out of boot camp, he was like, Ma, I don't know. You and Uncle Louie, that's my brother, those drill instructors had nothing on you. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or I should be worried that I have mentally disturbed my child. But yeah, definitely. So if he can go over and take boot camp and he thinks you're harder, then power to him. For me, it was exact opposite. It was hell in a handbasket. So, but
but maybe his childhood was just worse. I'm not sure.
Yeah. For me, it was like, put everything in your left hand right now. And I'm like, what do I do with this thing? So that's me. So I want to thank you for going over and joining, and people that are going over and watching. Here's the challenge that we have for each of our Warhero to Superheroes or our honorary Warhero to Superheroes. If you like Dani's interview and you want to elevate her to next level to be on next month's interview on Warhero to Superhero, helping military veterans, first responders transform from the bedroom to the boardroom on our TV network, which our show airs tonight at 7:30 p.m. If you guys wanted to watch with our interview of Michelle Murray. If you want to elevate her, all you have to do is give her 3 seconds of your life. That's it. And the 3 seconds is a view. So if she gets the most views within 72 hours, so today is Wednesday. So by Saturday around 6:30, if we count the views and she has the most views, she gets elevated to the next level. So there is competition. I am interviewing every day all this week. So you're going to have Wally Carmichael was yesterday. You're today. I think Jay Lauren is Thursday. And there's a veteran chef on Friday. I'm blanking his name.
Is it Jacob? Is his name
Brian Jacob? Brian Jacob? Yeah.
Yeah, I know him. Tell him I said hi.
I definitely will. So he's interviewing on Friday. So if you can whoop all those people into shape, and also we had a stream of woman Patty Catter. We did her on a watch party. So all you 5 are in competition, but you get 3 separate days. So you get until Saturday, and everybody else gets until their day after interview. But all you have to do is give Dani 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Camera's kind of funny. 3 seconds of your time. So we'd love you to listen to all 20 minutes of the interview, but if you don't have time and you want to support Dani in another way, 3 seconds, we'll go over and support her to elevate her to the next level. So one last question for you. How can they connect with you?
So, well, here they can just click on my little link, and that's the easiest way, and message me. But my website is Dani Rocco. I am a female, so you can notice it's spelled DaniRocco. And that has all my social media, like little tidbits there. But anyway, there or here. My phone number is out there. You can text me. You can message me. I'm pretty much an open book.
Hopefully I got that right.
You did.
Yes. I've been learning how to do that on the fly sometimes. It's like,
you're pretty good.
Yep. So there we go. So you can connect with her there. Love to go over and to support you wherever we can. And our fellow Warhero superheroes in transformation, as you're watching, thank you for your time. And we will see you tomorrow with J. Lauren Norris around 6 p.m. Hope you guys have a great day. And again, this is always a conversation. Doesn't stop. So you can always message. And guess what? We're addicted to these things. So you might as well. We're going to answer anyway. So I got to get my dopamine shot somehow. But so we will catch you on the flip side. So thank you, Dani, for joining. And audience, we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.